Thank you very much, Candy, for that great introduction. Good afternoon, Life Hackers. I am so happy to be with you guys today, and I have some interesting facts to share with you about love, age, and time. Can we move on to the next slide, please? Okay. So these are the three things I'd like to talk to you about very, very quickly this afternoon. So let's begin with love. Next slide, please. It is just sad, no, that we see a very huge increase in annulment cases in the Philippines from 2005 to 2014. And next to infidelity, unfortunately, the cause of stress in a marriage is finance, and the other cause is money problems. Can we move on to the next slide, please? And then while age 65 seems to be far from your age today, it might be worth knowing what the current situation of our retirees are here in the country. In a study conducted by SSS a few years ago, they found out that that among those in retirement age, 45% of them are still dependent on relatives, while 30% are dependent on charity, and 23% are still working to earn a living. Next slide, please. And in the country, approximately, we see 1,591 deaths per day. Unfortunately, in the country, we only have 2% of our population that has insurance protection. So every day, 1,560 families suffer from some form of financial loss. If we move to the next slide, please, I'd like to introduce a concept to you. Next slide, the one that says protection gap. Okay. Ayan. Okay, so the three stories I mentioned previously represent the protection gap in the country. So protection gap is the amount of insurance that is currently in place versus the amount of insurance that should be in place. Okay, so we look at these realities not to instill fear or misery, but to look for ways on how we could secure the future of our Filipino families. And this really is the biggest why of our lives here in AIA Philippines. This is the reason why we do what it is that we do every day, to race against risk so that we are able to provide the right protection solution to families so that they can maintain the quality of life should the working family member pass on unexpectedly. Next slide, please. Okay. And to address this protection gap, here in the Philippines, AIA has three main distribution channels, and Bancassurance is one of them. In my 20-minute talk to you this afternoon, I hope to share with you what the Bancassurance business is all about. If we move to the next slide, please. Okay. So Bancassurance is a partnership between a bank and an insurance company. So in Bancassurance, both the bank and the insurance company agree to work together to provide life and health protection products to the customer base of the bank. Next slide, please. BPI AIA is such a company because it is a joint venture between two financial giants. In fact, our own name reflects the names of our parent companies. On one hand, you have BPI, with 170 years experience in banking, is one of the largest and leading and most trusted banks in the country. And on the other hand, you have AIA, a company that has been empowering Filipinos to achieve financial security and prosperity for the past 75 years. So together, these two companies make up a strong alliance in the form of BPI AIA to propel their shared goal of spreading financial security and prosperity uh, among Filipino families. Next slide, please. Okay, this is our vision and mission statement: to be the number one life insurance company in the country by making insurance accessible and affordable to every Filipino. And our mission is to make insurance easy to get and easy to have for every Filipino, no matter what class they belong to. So the key words being accessible and affordable, and the key phrases being easy to get and easy to have. So in Bancassurance, in our partnership, we work across all market segments within BPI, and we want to be able to offer the appropriate protection solution with a seamless buying experience for the BPI customer base. Next slide, please. And to tell you a little bit more about who we are, we were founded in 2009. So that only makes us 12 years old as of this year. But we have been the leading bank assurance company for 12 consecutive years now, from 2012 to 2020. And we have been named the best life insurance company by World Finance for 4 straight years already. We have 4 distribution channels within BPI AIA. The biggest one, which is the in-branch channel, is what we will be focusing on today. But we have other channels such as DMTM, our corporate solutions team, and our non-traditional partnerships team. We have over 600,000 customers, 400,000 of which are individual customers, and we have paid over 4 billion in claims from 2015 to 2020. You will find us all over the country. We are nationwide because wherever there is a BPI branch, that is where you will find us. We're a very young company. Like I said, we're only 12 years old. And we're made up of very young employees because our average age is actually 32. Next slide, please. The key stakeholders of this partnership are, of course, BPI, the insurance company BPI AIA, and the customers that we serve. To BPI, this partnership allows them to offer a comprehensive set of financial services to their customers. And the more product holdings that their customers have or hold, the more loyal their customers will be to them. To the insurance company or to us in BPI AIA, the partnership provides us with a captured market. This is actually a very good source of leads for our sellers. And every day that we go to the branch is a chance to serve the banking customers of BPI. And to the clients, they can expect better service from us because of our needs-based approach in selling. And should they require service, all they need to do is to go to any BPI branch. If they have an inquiry about their policy, if they need to make a request or to lodge a complaint, they just simply go, as I said, to any BPI branch, and definitely they will get the service that they're looking for. Next slide, please. Insurance products complement, and if I may say so, insurance products complete the solutions that the bank offers to the different needs of their clients. They have deposit accounts to address the cash flow requirements of clients. They also offer loans so that their customers can buy their dream homes, their cars, and even address the needs of their businesses. They offer credit card so that they can have an efficient and convenient way of making payments in their daily transactions. And with insurance, they help ensure income replacement for the family. They're also able to help set up funding in the event of diagnosis of critical illness. And it's also a good way to have a vehicle for long-term savings needs such as retirement and education. Next slide, please. And even after 12 years of partnership, we can say that we barely scratched the surface. The small white dot that you see there represents our penetration rate of the BPI customer base. And today, we're only able to reach 1 out of every 25 clients of the bank. So there is really so much more to do and so much more opportunities within the partnership. Next slide, please. So now let's get to know more about our customers and how we are able to reach them. Next slide, please. BPI, as you've seen earlier, has 8.6 million customers. And what they've done is they've organized and segmented these customers into these 4 segments. You have personal banking up there. This is the mass market segment, and they are serviced by the branch staff. They are the ones that typically walk in to the BPI branches to do their transactions. Preferred banking, on the other hand, are the high net worth market segment, and their accounts are managed by relationship managers. Private banking, on the other hand, will be the ultra high net worth segment, and their accounts are managed by private banking relationship managers. So OFs, on the other hand, will be our overseas Filipino customers. So they are not in the country, but they remain to be customers of the bank because they do provide remittances to the accounts of their beneficiaries here in the country. Next slide, please. Okay. In every branch, you will find a bancassurance sales executive, or BSEs as we call them. BSEs are company employees, and they work with their partners in the branches to offer financial solutions to the clients. They are licensed under the insurance commission, and they are the only ones in the branch who can sell insurance to customers. What the branches do is that they only refer clients to the BSEs, and it is the BSEs who will be selling the product to the client. Now, to our BSEs, it is important that the career has a noble purpose, and that is to help secure the future of the families of their clients. And the more customers that they help, the more that they will earn too, because their compensation scheme is a combination of fixed and variable pay. We also have tactical incentives and trip incentives and recognition program to keep the excitement going throughout the year for our BSEs. So we are on an expansion mode right now. So if you guys have any relatives or friends who are looking for these same things in a career, please ping me or approach any of our organizers so we can reach out to your friends who are interested to join us. Next slide, please. Now, clients will have to be referred to us by our bank partners. We do not have direct access to them. Customers will have to give their consent to be contacted by us before we're able to sit down with them. So the branch staff introduces walk-in clients to the BSEs, and typically they do this after they complete the banking transaction. There is a form that the bank staff asks the customers to fill in, and this form is where the customer will give his consent, and this form also will let us know what his initial thoughts on his needs are, that can be addressed by insurance. Branch managers and relationship managers, on the other hand, refer their clients to the BSEs, typically after they do an initial needs analysis with these customers. And if the clients want to know more about insurance, then that's the time that they refer their preferred banking clients to the BSE. As a company, we also do direct-to-customer campaigns. And we do this especially for our existing customers already. But what we found out is that the endorsement of the bank partner is still key for the clients to agree to meet with us. So we still typically involve the bank partners, even if we do direct-to-client or direct-to-customer campaigns. Next slide, please. Now, this slide summarizes our referral and sales process. The left side of the slide, the first three steps are actually the steps done by the branch officers and staff. So the normal process begins with a transaction that the client needs to complete in the branch. But within that transaction process, the priority needs form is introduced by the bank partner. And if in that form, it comes out that protection is a need or a priority of the customer, then the bank staff now introduces and endorses the BSE to the customer. And then from there, the BSE now will do an in-depth needs analysis so that he can compute for the protection gap of the customer and be able to recommend the proper solution to the client, and then afterwards close the sale. So this process has worked for us so well in the past, given the success that I shared with you in the earlier slide. Next slide, please. But with the pandemic in the past 20 months, so the past 20 months for us have challenged us to pivot and to find alternate means by which we can serve our clients. Next slide, please. But first, let me talk about what we have experienced in the past 20 months. In the past 20 months, we've seen varying lockdown situations. GCQ, ECQ, MECQ, now alert levels 1 to 5, you know, and heightened fear as the infection rates rise and fall within a 20-month period. And because of this, we see the count of walk-in clients significantly decrease. And as the walk-in clients decrease, we see them moving more and more towards transacting online. In fact, as you can see there on the screen, in the first 7 months of 2021 alone, there has been 1.7 million downloads of the BPI mobile app. And on a monthly basis, BPI sees an average of 3 million active users. So when for a person to be tagged as an active user, he must have had 3 transactions online. No, so 3 million active users on a month-on-month average on a month-on-month for the year 2021. So with this shift to digital, even the behavior of our clients has changed. They have become more demanding. They want instant, seamless, and secure services. So how did we respond to this changing behavior of the customer? How did we respond to the requirements of the pandemic? Can we move to the next slide, please? The key hurdle for the past 20 months while we were in the pandemic has actually been the restriction on movement and the restriction on face-to-face selling. So what we've done is we've converted a lot of our processes, both the referral process and the sales process, virtually. So the virtual endorsement by the bank officer and the virtual calls have been key to earning the trust of the client. Because in a virtual setup, it's very difficult to trust because of the many phishing and online scam that a lot of clients experience. So having the bank officer join us in the virtual calls with clients really increases the trust element during the sales call. We've also done virtual team building sessions with our bank partners. This is something we didn't think we could do, but that's something that we were able to swing during the pandemic. In fact, we did it in both years, in 2020 and 2021. And this is to further solidify the partnership on the ground, even if one of them or both parties are working from home. We also put in place digital selling for our sales team so they can continue to do to do sales calls while working from home during lockdown. And if clients are unwilling to sit down on a face-to-face presentation in the branches, they can still do selling virtually, even if the customer has decided to go home after being introduced by the bank partner in the branch. And other than that, we've also shifted a lot of our services to digital. So no more delivery issues because of restricted movements. So we converted our policies, our billing statements to digital so that we're able to provide copies to our customers instantly. We are also able to put in place our claim submission through the website, and also to be able to touch base regularly with customers. We have webinars offering different topics relevant and are of interest to our clients. So next slide, please. But even with the development of all of these initiatives, the fact remains only 12% of the customers are going into the branch premises. So the question now that I pose to all of you bright minds out there is that how can we reach more clients so that we can help to fulfill our promise of helping more Filipinos live healthier, longer, and better lives? So I will leave you with that question for now, and I will turn the floor back to Candy so that we can process this 20-minute talk. Candy?